Yeah.
Can somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? I think this works.
Yes,
Can we
sir.
share my-
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, thank you,
Thank you.
because I'm just gonna share my screen anyway.
Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you very much, everyone,
Excuse me, sir.
who came here to see Joe Soto. He asked me to be in his office, but I told him to be here because I thought people come here. But so you know what? But thank you so much for coming to our corporation.
Absolutely.
And please put a lot of notes over there because it's an honor for us to have Joe here and take out of his time to come and explain to us, what he does, what he's coaching. How long you been with that coach company?
9 years.
9 years, and he's going to give us some secrets from there. And please just write down all the nuggets that he's going to share with us today. Okay, so Joe, the
Awesome.
floor is for you. And my
Very
role is
good.
here.
I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna steal this.
Oh, you want to do that? Okay.
Sure. No, I got it. So
Perfect.
Sonia's my hype man because she gives me the best intros. So I love having Sonia as a hype man. It's freaking awesome. Awesome. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to talk a little bit about coaching and stuff, right? So those of you who don't know me, I'm Joe Soto. I'm a loan officer over at Cross Country Mortgage. I've been in the mortgage business since 2004. John's got an autopilot. Man, I need to figure out how to get one of those. An autopilot. Been in the mortgage business since 2004. And so my background is, I worked with Lopez a long time ago. I was a really good loan rep, but I did it all really bad for a long time. I did it totally wrong. And so in 2011, I discovered a company called the Core Coaching. So anybody on here familiar with the Core Coaching at all? If you are, raise your hand, give me a thumbs up. Just tell me yes or no. A little bit about the Core Coaching. It's probably one of the top, it's probably the top coaching company for loan officers in the country. And so to give you an idea, when I first started in coaching, my best year ever, I had funded about 12 million in volume. Fast forward through the years of COVID, I funded about 130 million. This year, I'm on track for about 60. I'm a little bit down from last year. I was almost 70 last year, so I'm down about 12%. Not the prettiest, definitely not proud. I accepted being down, which is unfortunate, but 10% is better than 70, 80, 90%. So overall, super grateful. But coaching has really helped me and changed my life on so many levels, right? And so in regards to the volume growing, the team has grown tremendously over the last couple of years. And so it's just been a journey, right? And I think when we talk about this business, it really helps. Like I know some of you were on a coaching call or a learning call earlier before this. Man, it's super important to learn, right? To pour in and sharpen your tools. If you look at the best performers in the world, they all have coaches, whether it's sports, whether it's ballet or gymnastics or anything in life, right? Everybody has somebody that they go to. So it's awesome if you guys have somebody like that here. Lean into that person, follow their rules and their instructions. I always use the word surrender because it's important to surrender to somebody else and listen, right? We don't all have it figured out. When I started into coaching, I had already been in the business 8 years, right? Like I thought I was a pretty dang good loan rep. And what I realized with a little bit of help, I basically 10x'd my income. I'll tell you on the Core Coaching, what my plan today and my agenda is really just to share some tactics that have worked for me. Super simple stuff. I heard somebody say earlier, right? Like I think that's old school. Old school works, man. New school can get very difficult. So we're going to talk about some old school simple tactics. Going back to the Core Coaching, I'll tell you currently I'm paying almost $3,000 a month for coaching. That's every day month. Right? That's more than most people's mortgages. So to say I'm invested in this is an understatement, right? I live and breathe and suck every ounce out of coaching because $3,000 a month to have somebody tell you what to do is a lot of money. So I take it super serious. So I'm going to share a couple of things with you and in regards to what has moved the needle for me the best, right? I think when you're going through a market like we've gone through, it gets really hard to focus, right? Like if we're being really honest, you want to try to be all things to all people, you want to do everything, and that's not the name of the game. So for me, the one thing that changed my life and my business was just tracking my information. So I'm going to talk to you a lot about tracking your numbers, because the reality is if I didn't track my numbers, I'd be down 70%. I'd be down 80%. But I am very intentional about tracking my numbers every single day. So I'm going to share with you an easy way to track your numbers. I'm going to also give you a couple of tactics and forms and things that we use to try to help you implement. Maybe it's some stuff that you guys can do as a team, as a little challenge, which really helped move the needle for me in this last year. And I'm just going to go over some of that stuff. There's a chat box. If you have a question, throw something in the chat, right? There's 16 of us on Zoom. If you have a question, just blurt it out. I think I have everybody in here on mute. So I'm pretty open, right? Like if you want to just blurt out a question, you can blurt out a question. I'm a simple guy. Cool. I need to share my screen, but I need to make sure that I have the right thing up on this screen. Bear with me, guys. I got to make sure I share the right stuff. Cool. All right. So this presentation, it's massive action equals massive results. Right now in 2023 and 2024, it's taken 10 times the activity to close one deal. Literally, we were spoiled for a couple of years of COVID, where it was like raining loans, right? Like you just had to stick your arm out and you can catch the loans falling from the sky. Now you have to face a 10x time rejection in order to close one dang deal. So it's really, really, really difficult in this market. Let's see if this goes this way. I'm going to leave it this way because I can go to my spreadsheet. Oh, I'm going to change it here. You guys should be able to see my screen. Cool. So let's go. If you're not following me on social, check me out on social. There's all my links, all my fun stuff. Here's who I am. I gave you my bio. Right now, everything is way down. Conversion, it's really, really hard to get one deal. And then when you get it, you want to just hold it with your hands and make sure it closes, right? But at the end of the day, we all need to be addicted to the activity because the results are much harder to come by, right? So we're not getting the results that we want. So here's what it comes down to. There's this one form. It's right here. It's called the Greatness Tracker. I printed out some copies. I'll give it to Sonia. Well, actually, I'll just email it to her so that you guys have it. This one form literally 10x my income, right? Literally just tracking my income. So I've always been a guy who's followed the bigger pile theory. I reached out to another loan officer that I knew had made $1 million doing loans. And I thought, there's no way somebody made $1 million doing loans. It's impossible. He must be Superman. The guy's name is Jeremy Forcier. For those of you, some of you may know him if you do Mortgage Coach. I reached out to Jeremy Forcier, and the first thing he said is, do you track your numbers? And I said, yeah. He goes, how many deals you close a month? I go, like, I don't know, 5. He said, how many leads do you get a month? I said, like 50. And he said, you're either the worst loan rep in the country because your conversion sucks, or you don't know your numbers. So I went with B because I didn't think I was the worst loan rep in the company. And he was right. I was in the country. He was right. I wasn't tracking my numbers. So I'm going to break down this form for you. I will tell you, I've been in coaching for 9 years. I carry this form everywhere I go. If you, Sonia, grab my backpack right there. Just like I'm such a machine that I will grab my backpack. Here's my thing. Here's my folder. Here's my form. Everywhere I go, I track my activity. like it owes me money, right? Everywhere I go, I've been doing it for 9 years. So I'm going to show you how to utilize this form, how to track your activity, be really freaking honest with yourselves. And if you are really, really honest with yourself, you will double your income. And then, like the guy said on the other call, you double it, you double it, you double it. Before you know it, you gone to make 100,000 to making 250 to making 500 to making $1 million. So it's super, it's simple, not easy. So there's 8 categories: face-to-faces, breaking breads, great phone calls, events, prospecting, thank you cards, leads and deals. Yes, every day week, you have to do this activity. If you really want to make money, this is the activity you have to do every single week. And it's going to seem like a lot, but it is what it is. Here's when you should do it: every day, every week, every month, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. If you want to really, really, really have a gauge of your business, I will tell you the biggest eye opener for me when I first started to use this form was when I would work a whole day and realize I only talked to 2 people. Like I'd be like, honey, I worked 12 hours today. And I realized I only talked to the same 2 people all damn day long, right? If anybody else can relate to that, you should raise your hand. You should look at the mirror. You should be like, dang, that's me. He's really pointing me out. How does he know that? Because I was that guy, right? Like, I'm not one of these people who speaks from a high ivory tower. Like, I'm in this shit, right? Like, every day with my form, I'm making calls. I'm getting rejected. People are telling me to kick rocks. They're going to shop me with the banks. Like, all of the same stuff you guys are dealing with, I'm dealing with every damn day, right? So we're going to go through every category. The goal right now, this says 30 hours a week of green time. Green time is money time, right? Your money time. I'm going to show you here real quick. I thought this was crazy. See if this works. I stopped sharing there real fast. All right, so check this out. Y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but whatever. This is my calendar for today. Green, 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 green. I'm mastermind. That's not in green. That's the only thing. Everything else is green. Make calls. This dude actually is green. This is a budget meeting with my kid. All day in green time, right? It says 30 hours a week. Right now, unless you're doing 5 deals a month, you should be doing 40 hours of green time a week. Literally 40 hours prospecting, meeting with clients, making great phone calls, all of that good stuff. So here's the categories. Face-to-faces. What is a face-to-face? You should have 15 face-to-face meetings every week. Can they be on Zoom? Yeah, they can. Right? You can see people on Zoom. But you want to be having business conversations with people face-to-face. That means if Saturday and Sunday roll around and you haven't seen 15 people, you go pound out and go visit open houses, right? We call it open house hunting, not just visiting open houses. Open house hunting, meaning you're going and hunting for a damn deal on a Saturday or Sunday. If I'm missing my kid's soccer game on a Saturday or Sunday, I better come back with a dang deal or a good relationship, right? Open house hunting, change the verbiage. But 15 every week. Break breads, 5 every dang week. That means you're eating with somebody. You're going to happy hour. You're getting coffee. Food, 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 food. I almost brought some food here to eat with Sonia, so that way it would count as a break bread, but I didn't. I got a lot of parties this week. Great phone calls, 60 conversations. That's not like 60 people hung up with you. 60, you actually talk to them about business. This is the most humbling of all humbling loan officer numbers, because we all think we're on the phone a lot and we all think we're doing a lot of contacts. But when you write this thing down and you're really, really honest, you will realize you're not even close. Trust me, I was there. Events, we do 2 events every single week. That means you're hosting an event or you're going to an event, a class, a lunch and learn, something like that. 30 hours of prospecting. You're going to have 10 thank you cards every week. You want to bring in 10 leads a week. If you're bringing in 10 leads a week, that means you're getting 2 deals, probably really 1.5 in this market. Like my conversions jumped this year, 1.5 deals a week. But if you did that, you'd basically be doing what? 6 deals. That's pretty dang good. I can live a good life on 6 deals a month. And then deals, you want to bring in at least 3 a month. So here's what a face-to-face is. You're having 15 people a week, right? You're seeing 15 people. It's an office meeting. It's a listing presentation. It's doing a mortgage application. It's doing a seminar. Now the hack on doing these classes, like Sonia Lopez might know, but I do a lot of classes because I figure classes are the best way for me to leverage my time. But if 30 people come to my class and I only talk to 2, then I'm only writing down 2 people's names, right? 30 people doesn't count. It's who you're actually conversing with. If you're going to a closing, right, and you're going to sign loan docs, that's old school, right? But when you only have a handful of closings, you should go to every dang one. There's not much else going on. There's no more important moment than that closing, right? You got to finish. You got to close the deal. So you really should be intentional about trying to get to your closings. Any questions on face-to-faces? I've been ranting, so I will stop and talk and listen. I know a lot of people wonder, like, how the hell do you see 15 people in a week? I will tell you, visiting open houses, open house hunting will help you. If you're short, you should go see open houses, right? You need to be in front of people. We are salespeople. We are not order takers. So when you're a salesperson, you got to do sales activity. This is like the #1 way to build relationships. Everybody hates calling realtors and I don't know, and the realtor. Like, dude, go see them on a Saturday or Sunday. Let them know you're working, right? They will want to work with you inherently, right? You got to keep showing up.
The brokers previews?
Broker preview counts as an event, but it only counts who you talk to. So Sonia's question was the broker preview count. That counts as going to an event. But if I only talk to 2 realtors when I'm there, then those are the only face-to-faces. If I talk to 7 affiliates, that shit don't count. They ain't helping me make money. So when you go to these broker previews, stay away from the damn affiliates. Don't talk to the title rep, the insurance guy, or the other loan officer. Like, find people who make you money. That's what we're doing, right? Every minute, every time you're not with your family or doing something you like, you need to be working, right? Use it intentionally. So that's the key in regards to that. Good question, Mr. Very good. Hey, it's not going. There you go. Breaking bread. So there's no better way to connect with another human being better than drinking with them and eating with them. It is a fact of life. We have a couple of drinks together, we instantly become closer, right? We eat together, we become closer, right? Jesus did it with his disciples. We need to do it with everybody else in our lives. So this is the hardest thing to get done. I won't lie to you. Like, when I first started with this form, I couldn't imagine sitting down with 5 real estate agents for coffee. I couldn't get them to show up. I'd be sitting at Starbucks and they would stand me up time after time after time. The key to not getting stood up is confirming the appointment that morning. I will tell you, I look forward to seeing you at 10 o'clock at Starbucks or 10 o'clock at my office, whatever it is. Confirm that morning. Otherwise, you'll lose the day. It was like I lost so many hours of my life thinking the realtor was going to show up. Also making sure that they're on time. So I have this green folder with me that you see me bring. And in this green folder is a list of people to call. So if my realtor is late for my appointment, I don't sit there and play on Instagram. You might think I'm on Instagram a lot. I sit there and call people because I'm a sales guy and that's what we do. So pretty self-explanatory, right? Offer to meet with people, coffee, breakfast, lunch, drinks, happy hour. Easy peasy. Great phone calls. So I'm super system, right? One of the things about the core coaching is every day there's a theme day on calls, right? Monday, I call 40 realtors. Tuesday, I do Tuesday update calls. So Tuesday, I call everybody in my pipeline to do Tuesday update calls. Today, I am jam-packed. I don't have a minute to do Tuesday update calls. I literally did Tuesday update calls last night to finish them. And I said, hey, I'm giving you your Tuesday update call, but it's Monday. I'm not gonna have the time to call you tomorrow. I wanted to give you an update, right? I don't not do the calls because I'm super busy today. I just do them earlier, right? Or I'll stay super late, but I will get them done. Here's the key on the great phone calls. Duplicates don't count, right? You gotta do 60. Voicemails don't count. So I will tell you, because I've been calling a lot of realtors, I'll make 50 realtor calls on a Monday. You know how many people answer the phone?
5.
7 or 8. 8, 50. And most of them already know me, right? And they still ain't answering the phone. They're like, dang. So when I tell you it's 10x the activity, I'm not lying. I'm feeling the pain. And I'm like, damn. And I'm leaving good messages sometimes. I'm sending text messages. I'm like, shit, I'm good. You're getting 5 to 7 people. If you get 10, it's a great day, right? So you're gonna have to make more dials to have the conversations. Now, great phone calls could be a lead that you got, right? An agent gives you a lead and you call that client. That's a great phone call. If you call your past client, your database, if you tried to reach out to CPAs, financial planners, right? You have to get to 60 a week. If you want to move the needle every single week, you have to focus on your 10 a day, right? That's what's going to move the needle. If you wake up on a Wednesday tomorrow and you fill out the form and you only talk to 3 people, you lost the day, right? It's pretty, like, you should look in the mirror. You should go home, tell your family, I worked today, but I didn't make my contacts, right? Like, that's an old school way of doing it, but it's so true. Like, if you're accountable on it, I promise you, like, in the depths of my soul, that if you do this, it will work. Any questions on phone calls? See, when you don't have anybody here, you just hope people are still listening. So I hope Maria.
You have to call them.
I see Maria and Rick and Manuel, but I'm not gonna call you guys out.
Angelica, I know the rest of
So I have a question.
Yeah.
For the leads, do you pay to get leads, or are these all referrals from agents or other people that you've talked to?
So Lopez asked if I pay for leads or if they're referrals from other agents that I talk to. So I don't pay for any leads because the conversion's like 1%.
That is correct.
Right? Like, and if an agent tells you we're doing Zillow leads and we close at 5%, they're lying. Take your shit and leave because they're lying to you. So no, it's all one referrals, right? It's all, again, going to open houses, visiting agents, saying, hey, do you need help following up with any of your leads from the open house? It's cold calling, like I cold called for years, or doing events like you guys do events here. Invite the agents to those events.
Yeah.
Every single person, like I would just call. I was so broke that I couldn't afford to do events. And so I joined Orange County Association of Realtors. This is a true story. And I joined OCAR and I became an affiliate with OCAR. And OCAR does their own events, right? Like Women's Council does events. And who else? What are the other groups? NAREP does events, right?
The associations,
The associations do all the events. Well, Joe was so broke that he couldn't afford to do an event,
commercial.
and he didn't know jack about jack, so he couldn't teach anybody anything. So I would literally say on the NAREP event, I would just cold call realtors to have conversations and be like, hey, we're doing this event for NAREP, or I'm calling on behalf, I would always say, I'm calling on behalf of NAREP, I'm calling on behalf of OCAR, and we want to invite you to our whatever mixer that we're doing. And I would just try to have conversations, right? Like I was just so desperate for a conversation. So I would use these other people's events and invite realtors to them. Because for me, it was a warm call, not a cold call. So that's a good trick for those of you out there who are having some call reluctancy. It is way easier. Realtors are way more. No. I got like back issues. I'm getting old. Realtors are more open to talking to you if you invite them to something. No. I'm good. Sitting is no bueno.
Okay.
So I have lists, right? And I'm gonna send you guys different theme days, but I have a handy dandy little spreadsheet of who my A realtors are. I won't lie, my list isn't this detailed, right? Like I got like 6 AAA realtors, and then I got a bunch of Bs. Here's what we have in Orange and LA counties is it's really hard to get a bunch of realtors who close, to get a realtor who closes 10 or 15 buy sides. They don't exist, right? Like there are a handful of them and they want you to pay for all their Zillow or they want to kick back. So stay away from all those people. But your A realtors, you should see them, you should send them thank you cards, you should talk to them, right? Like the people who refer you business, you need to be in front of them. You need to know who your best people are. And here's why. Because it's survival of the fittest, folks. And if you ain't calling them, guess what? Joe Soto will call them. And if Joe Soto calls them or any of these other really good loan reps, you're going to be compromised. So you have to make sure your best people are hearing from you all the time. It is super, super, super important. And the goal, right, in the perfect LO model, you'd have 10 realtors, or we'll say 20. If you had 20 realtors who sent you 5 deals a year, that would give you 100 deals a year. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? That's going to give you 100 deals a year. Right? 100 deals. Pretty good life.
Imagine, pretty good.
Right?
Life. Yeah.
20. Give you 5. Great life. Right? Now, it's hard to get 20 people to send you 5, right? But I'm a simple guy. So if you like broke that down even further, you can figure out what the number is. But 20 A realtors that will send you 5 deals a year gets you 100 deals. That's a great, great life, right? So that's what I would make as a target. Here's who's on your list. I will send you theme days, right? The core, we use theme days and stuff. Here's what we got for events. All of this counts for events, office meetings, happy hours, team social, networking groups. I wonder why this is up here. Look at that.
Yes.
Seminars, all of that. You want to try to do 2 per week. Again, when you're going to events, it's really important to be strategic, right? Like find somebody, talk to them, and try to have a good conversation. Don't just talk to all the affiliates. It gets really easy to talk to all the affiliates. Don't just talk to the affiliates.
They want to talk to you.
They want to talk. We all want, and most of the time when the
They
affiliates
do
want
the
to talk
same
to you,
thing like us.
no, but they just want to say they showed up and they just want to complain about the market. So when that affiliate comes to you complaining about how rough shit is, just walk away. Be like, oh, you know what? I gotta go to the bathroom and just leave. One tactic that I do when I go to big events is I'll walk in the front door and I hit a hard left and I'll work my way around the whole room, try to get as many business cards as I can. And then most of the time, I'll walk my butt right out the door. But I see everybody, I shake hands, I kiss babies, and then I'm out because I'd rather be home with my wife and kids. That's the truth. Hours prospected. So as you can see on this little sheet, I track this every single day, right? Like I know how many hours I'm actually spending on the phone. That's what the P stands for, or face-to-face if I'm on a Zoom or a client meeting. Every single day, right? I know this seems monotonous and everybody's like, oh, I don't need to do all of that. I'm telling you, I thought I didn't need to do it either. And once I started doing it, miraculously, I started to close more deals. It's crazy what happens when you track this stuff. Hours prospected again, writing in your phone calls, your meetings, your networking groups. If you go to a closing, right, all of this stuff counts for hours prospecting. The biggest time suck from your prospecting is social media and driving. If you're driving somewhere, you should have a list of people you need to call, right? You should not at all, ever, just listen to like sports talk radio. I used to listen to sports talk radio all the time. You should have intent and say, if I'm getting in this call, I want to call 2 people. Doesn't matter who they are. You're going to make 2 calls, old leads, past clients, friends and family, whatever it is. I am notorious for utilizing that time like that. Green. Thank you cards. Again, I'm super old school. Like I send handwritten thank you cards every day and week. Somebody sends me a lead, I send them a thank you card. I send birthday cards out. You can use birthday cards in place of this. again, not the most important thing for you to do in regards to the whole greatness tracker, but it's very important that you show some gratitude, right? Somebody gives you a lead and they had the opportunity to send that lead to 1,000 other lenders, but they chose to send it to you. You need to let them know that you are grateful, whether it's in a call, whether it's in a text, whether it's in a card, right? If they send it to Maria instead of Rick, that's a huge win for Maria. If they send it to Manuel instead of Paula, that's a huge win for Manuel. You need to make sure they know that you are very, 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 very grateful, right? It's super, super important. So yes, I send probably close to 20 thank you cards a week because it fills my cup to send thank you cards. Because I remember when there was a time where I had no damn leads. So if I have 10, 15, 20 in a week, I am super grateful. I love doing those cards. Some of you may have seen them on Fridays. I post them on Friday is Gratitude Friday. Here's leads. We talked about tracking your leads, how many leads you get per week, right? If you get 10 per week, 40 per month, 480 leads per year, right? Like if you're closing 20% of your leads, which is a normal number, that's 100 closings a year, right? Or a little bit less if you really want to call me out on my numbers. That's 100 closings per year. Who is a lead? A lead is anybody who inquires about your service. So I do have a form, and somebody mentioned a Google Doc. I will track any dang lead, right? If Maria says, oh, I gave your number to my cousin and I told her to call you, or oh, I met somebody at an open house and I gave him your number, I will put that down. I will write Maria on my form, said she gave my number to somebody at an open house. And then I will follow up with her the next day and go, hey, Maria, I didn't hear from that person. Do you have their number? Because realtors say that stuff to you all the time. Oh, I passed your info along to Steve. And you're like, what? And then you never follow up and Steve goes and gets a loan from B of A. You need to make sure you're tracking it. But that's a whole nother conversation. Talk about it. Deals, again, 3 per week. A deal is a contract. A pre-approval is somebody you pre-approve. It's all on the form. All of that stuff. Now I'm going to come in here. Any questions? As I'm blowing through, I want to show you the form again. So I have this in an Excel spreadsheet and I'll send it over to you guys, right? It says how part of the core training, blah, 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 where you can literally write in all of your information. I do not do this electronically. Like I showed you, I print it out and I fill it in line day by day, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I will fill it out, right? It is the best way to hold yourself accountable so that you can look in the mirror at the end of the day and know you exhausted all your options to get a loan that day. That's what it's all about. Right now in this market, there's a lot more goose eggs than there are wins. Just is what it is. You will fill this out and not see results for 30, 60, 90 days. But I promise you, if Joe Soto can go and 10x his business, anybody on this call can 10x their business, right? Literally from 12 million to 130 million in about 5 years, right? My down year is better than most surgeons. Like it's insane. I never thought that would happen. And that's in this toughest year that we've seen since like 07, 08. So I'm going to send you guys this form. You know, nobody can make you use it. I turn this into my coach every 2 weeks. So from like a management standpoint, I've got loan officers in my branch. They turn this damn form into me every week, right? Like we need to see the activity. It seems really childish, but I'm telling you, if you don't track it, you won't do it. I turn this form into my coach every week. I also turn in a personal budget. So I would highly recommend if you're not doing a budget, right? 2023 was the year of negative budgets. Negative budgets is where we spent more than what we made. It was ugly. We need to track this stuff, right? I have this spreadsheet too. It is every month of the year. It will show you all of your spending, what's coming in, what's going out. Again, part of the core coaching is we turn these things into our coach, right? Like they look at it, they look at our budget. Hey, we need to spend on, we need to cut on this, we need to cut on that. I also do it for profit and loss, which I do that every single month for my business as well. And then a lead tracker, which I couldn't find the lead tracker, which was a little sad. But I have a lead tracker form too. Somebody mentioned a Google Docs. I say if you have a Google Docs, it's probably better than my lead tracker because anybody can use it. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you is this 90-day boot camp. So this was something that we did last year and 2 years and 2 years ago. So 2 years in a row. It was a 90-day boot camp that I would highly encourage. I got my loan officers doing it. I would highly encourage that everybody start the year off doing it, right? And so it's meet 100 realtors in 90 days. That means 40 existing and 60 new ones, right? And you put in the realtor's name, what days you talked to them, when you met with them, sent them a card, you send them a little cheesy gift, right? Or something thoughtful. This is really hard to do, right? I did a competition with 2 guys that I coach with. I thought I was really good. I came in 3rd place in a 3-man competition. My 3rd place was 118 realtors in 90 days. That was 118 I had met with. The 2 other guys in my group, in my little coaching group, one was 123 and one was 139 in 90 days. And the guy who was at 139 is Mormon and doesn't work on the weekends. He crushed us. Anyway, whole nother story. But this is a great tactic, right? I would do this as a competition, see who can meet with the most realtors in 90 days. Will you get to 100? I don't know. First time I did it, I got to like 87. Will you get to 100? I don't know. But I will tell you this, if you did this as a group competition, if you met with 20 or 30 or 40, your business will be different in 90 days than what it is today. 100%, if you're really honest and you do this. So we did this. I've done it in my coaching group. This is a good way to start the year. In my opinion, I wouldn't even wait to start the year because I think New Year's is a bunch of BS. In my opinion, it would be like, hey, we're going to start it on December 18th. Let's see who can do it. Actually, if you really want that to be chaotic, you could start it tomorrow and really go for it, because the truth is, man, we ain't got time to waste. And the more time you waste, somebody else is doing the activity, right? It's separation season, and you just got to be doing the activity now more than ever, right? So
Can I interrupt you? What was the send the card and what else was it with those?
send a gift.
A gift.
Yeah. Send a gift. So like I met with an agent. I talked to him the other day. He's got a birthday coming up, and this is actually really funny, but he loves guns. That's his hobby. He does shooting for fun. And I found a 50 caliber bullet bottle opener. It was $17 on Amazon, and I sent it to him, right? And it's just a simple little gift, but it's something that he'll love because he loves guns and ammo, right? Another agent I met with, we were talking, she told me her favorite See's candy was some caramel marshmallow thingamajig. I don't know, See's candy. Anyway, Joe Soto goes to the store, buys some See's candy, buys it. Her birthday's on Thursday. I'm going to drop by her office and bring her the damn specific caramel marshmallow See's candy chocolate that she loves, right? Those are just little examples of gifts. If you don't want to be that detailed, buy something that just says iCore Lending on it, right? And just give that to each person after you meet with them. I give gratitude journals a lot, right? They're like $9 on Amazon. You could do that when you meet with somebody. So again, it's having the meeting, making sure you're following up, seeing them more than once in a 2-month period. This is where a 3-month period. This is where it gets tough. And then doing all the rest of the stuff, right? Like in the perfect world, I meet with Sonia. I have to call her to schedule the appointment. I'm going to call her to confirm the appointment. We're then going to meet. I'm going to set up a follow-up appointment after the first meeting. I send her a card. After the second meeting, I send her another card, and I've sent her a gift in between, maybe 2, right? Like you can see that there's not, I'm very strategic, right? Like there's no, I don't wing it, right? Like I'm a really bad person when it comes to winging it. And I feel like most salespeople are really bad at winging it. We think we're doing really, really good, but it's really, really, we're really bad at winging it. So some of these spreadsheets and stuff are designed to help you not have to wing it, right? And that's pretty much all I got, man. I wanted to share the form, some of those other things that I think can help you, because again, it's a fight, right? We're all fighting the fight right now, and whoever's the most organized, the most structured, has the most help and support, like that's
Okay.
cool. Any other questions? Sorry, iPhone, I muted you. Anybody on there? Cool.
Anybody wants to ask any questions to Joe right now?
Does Gonzalo's Otter have any questions?
I don't know.
I don't even know what an otter is.
You
but I
know
need
what
to
is
go-
those auto? I don't
No, I know it. It
but
translates.
I don't know. I don't know it. I know, but I don't know how really that works for people because they record. Are they really listening after?
They don't. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate y'all. Let's finish the year strong. Separation season, like I said, don't just let your foot off the gas.
I have a
Work
question
every day.
before you let everybody go.
Yeah.
Obviously, Soto, you talked about all these hours and things that you do. Do you time block time for your family? Do you time block on the weekends? How do you fit in with this monstrous schedule that you just shared with us? How do you fit in Joe Soto time?
So his question was, how do you fit in family time and personal time? So I do shut the phone off, right? Like I won't take the sky has to be falling for me to really answer it after 6, maybe 7. So I don't do that. I do schedule all my family time, right? Like my daughter's got an award ceremony on Friday, like that's in my calendar, right? And I'll schedule the rest of the day around it. If it's family stuff, I'll move stuff around, right? But I'm intentional if I have to be somewhere. Like I'm driving to my kids' award ceremony. When I'm driving back, I'm making phone calls.
You
Right.
don't waste your time.
I don't waste the time.
You don't waste your time.
But yeah, on the weekends, like
Intentional.
me and my team, we rotate weekends. Before I had a team, I would basically, I'll give you the world's greatest line about weekends. I'm literally 13 people. The 3 people who left don't get this shit. The best weekend line for Anna and Gonzalo's Otter and Melanie is when an agent calls you to update a pre-approval or to do whatever the hell because their hair is on fire, right? Is you go, perfect, Anna. I would love to update the DU and jump through 17 hoops. Don't say that part. When are offers due? Here's what's going to happen. No offers are due on Sunday and no offers are due on Monday. Agents review offers typically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you go, perfect. I will update that DU within the next hour, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I'll make sure you have it. I'll make sure you have it before the offers are due, and I'll call the listing agent. I will tell you that has saved me years of my life because the agent calls you on a Saturday and is like, can you do this right now? And you as a loan officer, you're like, oh shit, I gotta do this right now. And the truth is, them offers ain't due till Monday at 5 o'clock. Like you literally have 2 days. Now, if it's pre-approve a client, like, hey, I got it. Even if you're pre-approving a client, I met this client right now. They want to write an offer on this house today. That damn offer ain't due until Monday, 5 o'clock. Nobody accepts offers on Sunday. Very rare, very rare. So that's been a big game changer for me because I don't feel like I have to drop everything. I'm also not angry when the call comes in, right? Because sometimes that happens too, where you're just upset because you're like, man, I'm trying to do family time and I keep getting interrupted. But yeah, I mean, that was a big hack for me with regards to my weekends specifically. But right now it's hard. It's hard to separate because you got to take the calls. Because if Jose doesn't take the calls, then Paula will take the call, or Gonzalo will take the call. So they're definitely a balance, but you'd be surprised how many of those aren't an emergency.
How many days a week you work full time? The 7 days or the 5 days?
Full time? Oh, like 5.
5
I mean,
days.
on weekends I check stuff, but I don't really look. But in the beginning, so like I don't know. So Sonia's question was how many days a week do you work? Like I'm working like 5 days a week. I try not to log in on Saturdays and Sundays. But when I was growing and I was getting from 10 million to 30 million to 50 million to 100 million, like I was working 6 days a week, right? I was working a lot, but I didn't have good systems. Now my systems right now, I could probably work 5 days a week and still grow, but I'm very structured. It takes a while to get structured, right? Like again, me going through some of this stuff and the coaching stuff, like it's taking years to perfect, but you can't perfect it unless you get started, right? And that was the big thing for me.
Talk about doing it by yourself versus doing it with the team. What are the benefits? What are the drawbacks? Do you think for those people who might be on the call that are thinking about working as a team, is it something you recommend? What are your thoughts?
Like, how do you mean as a team? Like,
Well, before you were just Joe Soto, the
renegade loan officer,
renegade loan officer.
just like this.
And now that's not the case. So compare and contrast, why did you make the steps that you did to where you are now?
So if I didn't hire a team, my wife would have left me. Right? Like that's the truth. I was working a lot and I had the wrong focus. But what the team helps you do is you have to hire people who are going to complement your weaknesses. So my team, they love calculating income. They love they love running DU. They love just talking to past clients, right? Like they love all of the data entry stuff, right? Gathering bank data, like they love to do all of that stuff. I don't, right? Like I want to just talk to people. But in the beginning, when you're growing, like the goal, I think for anybody on this call, right? The goal is 25 leads a month. 25 leads a month will get you towards getting your first assistant. Because 25 leads a month should lead to somewhere about 4 to 5 closings a month. And if you're doing 4 to 5 closings a month, then at that point, if you do that 3 months in a row, then you're in a position where you're going to need help if you want to get from 5 to 10. So that's what I would say. I was like, the hyper focus, just 25 leads. 25 good leads, right? 25 internet leads, that's a different formula. 25 warm referred leads. Yeah. But the team changes everything. It does give you quality of life. They're assets, not liabilities. Cool.
Are there any other questions?
Anything else up here? Don't go sharing that tip on the weekends to those other 3 people.
The worst thing is
They're gonna work
it's going
every
to be
weekend.
recorded.
They're gonna work.
I have a question actually.
Yeah.
As you were growing your team in the beginning, what was the secret or how to keep your team and not lose them?
So it's a good one too. So our question was, as I was growing the team, how do you keep the team and not lose them? So I learned this very difficult. Like this was a very hard lesson to learn. Because I hired the wrong people. I hired out of necessity. So I hired the first warm body I could find, and it wasn't the right fit. And I actually fired my whole team on the same day. So my coach, I got on a coaching call. I was super frustrated with my team. And my coach literally said, you have 2 options. And he said, are you ready to hear them both? And I said, yes. He said, are you sure? Anytime somebody says, are you sure?
Be scared.
Be scared. And so he said, are you sure? I said, yes. He said, you have 2 options. And at the time, I think I had done like 20 million, right? Or something like that. He said, you can keep things the same and you'll never grow, or you can fire them both. I had 2 team members, or you can fire them both and see what happens. And so I fired them both, and I'll never forget the smug look on my assistant's face when she was like, so you're going to do this all by yourself? And I was like, fool, it's the Soto team. Like, you're nothing. I did all this shit by myself before I hired you all. So I did it all wrong in the beginning is the real answer. Now it's culture is really, really important. Like I hire to certain culture. You have to fit my culture or you're not gonna or you're not gonna last, right? I'm also the last person to interview. So if you're trying to build a team, I would recommend having other people within your company interview for you, right? Tell them what you're looking for, and then have them interview the person, maybe even before you interview them. Because salespeople, we tend to feel like we can fix everybody and we can make them what we want, and that is not true. You cannot take somebody from A to B unless they really want to get there. But for the most part, when you're hiring staff, they're not going to, you have to hire the right person, and you typically won't see the right person. You're like, I can make them an underwriter. They used to be a janitor, and it doesn't work. So that's a big thing. But yeah, I did it wrong. I thought I could make everybody perfect. Apparently I sucked.
How many people are on the team now?
The team right now is 2 and an office admin. So I'm lean and mean, right? I don't have a huge team. I've got 3 loan officers, so my 1 admin helps. We're averaging like 60 leads a month. So, that's down. I was like at 90. So conversion's hard, right? Like conversion's down. It is. I mean, you talk to people, they don't qualify, they're not as motivated. So you got to get more people.
In 2021, when things were clicking, was the team any bigger than what you have right now?
When things were clicking, I had 2 more other people. But we were cranking. When it first went crazy in COVID, I did 42 loans with 1 team member.
Wow.
It was crazy. We look at that, we're like, what the hell were we doing? My 1 team member is a super A player, right? Like, she's a machine. But yeah, it was like ridiculous. Well, we had 1 in an admin, like a secretary. We taught her how to take 1003s.
I think like you say, it depends on the person. If the person really wants to do something, you don't make a top producer. It's like that person needs to come with the drive already. Like being the team, it's not like you just from A to put the person in the Z. People really have something inside.
I think, but you also have to find what motivates people. Everybody's motivated differently. Everybody wants different things, right? Like, I talk to a lot of people, and their goal might be 3 deals a month, and that's cool, right? Like, that's your goal and you hit it, cool. If your deal's 5, then let's help you get to 5. If it's 10, let's help you get to 10. And I think that's the way it is. It's different for sales and ops, but for salespeople, I've got guys who are like, hey man, I can't miss any one of my kids' events, and I'm going to be at every single one of them, and whatever I can fill in between that, cool. All right, that's the goal, man. Live the best life. You only get one of them, right? So I think for me, I've been super hyper focused on building the business so my kids could have a better life and all of that fun stuff. I missed a lot of stuff along the way, but a kid goes to a private university. I wrote a check. 10 years ago, I didn't think she'd go to college. I didn't think I could send her to Catholic grammar school, right? So worked out. Paying a lot of money for that little shit, to go to college, but she's living her best life, and in 7 semesters, she's going to be a nurse. So Joe will have done something right along the way,
Yeah.
Cool. Anybody else out there? Any of you guys?
No.
We really appreciate that you came here. We know how busy you are. And,
Love you guys.
And thank you so
Merry
much.
Christmas.
For sharing
Happy New Year.
everything.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Get it done today.